Thanks so much, everyone. How you doing tonight? All right. What do you have to say about Eric Swalwell? Is he amazing? I have the great pleasure of serving on the Judiciary Committee with Eric and having served on the Intelligence Committee, and he is such a great champion for California, for our democracy, and he is such a great friend. Eric, I can't thank you enough for your leadership. Let's hear it for Eric Swalwell. And Maria Elena Durazo, is she not the most incredible powerhouse senator in the state of California? What a great champion she has been for working families. What a great champion she has been for a comprehensive immigration reform. And what a great friend she has been. Maria Elena, I can't thank you enough for all of your support. And Lindsay Horvath, our incredible county supervisor. What a great champion you are of housing and the LGBT community. And I am so thrilled and grateful to you for your words this evening. But it looks like we're going to the general, ladies and gentlemen. So a little over a year ago, we kicked off this campaign, and I won't say it was without its bumps along the way. I seem to recall, although it's a little hazy, that within hours of our announcement, a certain Kevin McCarthy kicked me off the Intelligence Committee. Yeah, that was my reaction, too. And then, at the urging and badgering of Donald Trump, the Republicans censured me for holding him accountable. I viewed it that way. And then Trump would attack me after rally after rally. And I think all those things were basically what we would call Wednesday. But you had my back every step of the way. Every step of the way. You helped us build the biggest grassroots campaign for Senate in California history, and I cannot thank you enough. I want to thank, in particular, I want to thank my family. My wife, Eve, is here tonight. This is my wife, Eve. I want to thank... I want to thank you all.
See this, Mary.
Thank you all so much. We are so lucky to live in a democracy where we all have the right to protest. We are so lucky to live in that kind of democracy, and we want to make sure that we keep this kind of democracy. So you had a chance to meet my wonderful wife, Eve. Thank you. Thank you. So I want to thank you all. I want to thank you all so much. And in particular, in addition to my wonderful wife, Eve, I also want to thank my daughter, Alexa, and my son, Eli. It would not be possible to get through all the travails of these challenging times without my incredible family. I also want to thank my brother, Dan, and my brother David, who is also here this evening. And I want to thank all of my constituents as well.
Can we bring him in?
Fernando Guerra from...
there's some pushing and shoving going on.
Yeah, Conan.
A little ugly.
And Dr. Guerra, if you're with us. So this sounds like something we talked about during the debate as well. Yep. This is has to do with the Israel-Hamas war. They're chanting ceasefire now.
And it does look like there's a bit of a scuffle here as well.
Right. As Dr. Guerra pointed out, it was at our last debate that Adam Schiff positioned himself as being the most sympathetic to the Israeli government. He opposed an immediate ceasefire without preconditions. Dr. Guerra, we might have been able to expect something like this if they didn't do a better job at security.
Yeah. I mean, I would expect that any type of a situation like this, you're going to have the protest about the ceasefire. I'm not surprised by this at all. Now, I think what he's doing right now, you just got to talk over it. And most of us will think that people are even supporting him or what have you. You just got to go through, cut it short, and be done. It's already out of control.
We should point out for rallies, even with the governor announcing rallies to the news media, they will say, we will not give you the address to where the rally takes place until you RSVP, that is the media alert. Mm-hmm. And that's because they don't want news to get out to groups like this. And I think what happened here is that the Schiff campaign probably released, this is where it's going to be, and there wasn't much security as to who was going to enter. You said you were a Schiff supporter, you got in, and it was a large number of pro-Palestinian supporters made their way in and are going after him because of his support for Israel.
Yeah, this does not look like 2 or 3 protesters here. This looks like a sizable group.
Right. I mean, and in large part, that's always a strategy, because if you're able to only have 2 or 3, they take them out, it's over. And so this is we've seen this strategy over and over throughout Los Angeles.
When she was on the Senate side, I was working on the House side. But I also want to acknowledge again my great gratitude to all of my wonderful supporters. I want to acknowledge the right of our protesters, and I look forward to working with you all and onward to victory in November. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, and let's go on and win this thing. On to November, everybody, and thank you for all your support. Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Well, not exactly the address he intended to make, but you did hear him just now acknowledge the right of the protesters to speak at this event. And our Robert Kovacic is right there in the middle of it all for us. I'm not sure if he's able to hear us now. Robert?
And so what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to stay off here, and we're going to show you the protesters continue to chant in the middle of the crowd. Someone came up and said to Adam Schiff, who was reading off a prompter, who was trying to stick to the prompter to wrap it up. He went and finished it up. These were people who came in, about 5 or 6 to start with, that said, ceasefire now, ceasefire now. Security ushered them out, and then another couple popped up, let Gaza live, let Gaza live, and then some more came in the middle, and there was a bit of a scuffle. There was some pushing, there was some shoving. It had the opportunity to sort of get awry, and I will say, you know, standing on this riser with all of these cameras focused on what was going on, no one wanted to get too interactive with them, so to say. There was the interaction was limited. They allowed them to go on. They allowed the protesters to continue, realizing that security could not get them out, that they were scattered through the room. here at the Avalon Theater and the nightclub. They had a line out the door until about 8 o'clock tonight, just stretching down the block at Hollywood and Vine for people waiting to get in. They did have security, like airport security, to try before you enter to come in. But as Conan brought up, they were really just more Schiff supporters. It didn't really ask for an invitation only to this event. So there was sort of easy access. The night started with LA County Supervisor, the chairman of the LA County Board of Supervisors, Lindsay Horvath, speaking, then bringing up Eric Swalwell, and then a victorious Adam Schiff took the stage, saying, "It looks like we're headed to a general in November." The crowd was excited, certainly expecting that he would be one of two positions going into November. And then the crowd started this Let Gaza Live, and it continues right now, Carolyn and Colleen. They continue to shove. There's some yelling back and forth between people. There are people going and yelling at them, and so now it'll be the Schiff supporters and these Palestinian supporters who are going to have words amongst each other, and you can take a look at them right now yelling at each other. Sumo, you can go down there and pull down in the crowd for me, please. And you see that, there's just a lot of arguing, a lot of disagreement. Again, they were chanting, "Free Gaza now, let Gaza live, ceasefire now, let Gaza live," and the protesters remain here in the center of this floor. So what was supposed to be a victory celebration and a scripted speech that Adam Schiff was reading off prompter, one no doubt he had carefully crafted a long time ago, was cut dramatically short, and he was now taken off the stage when someone just said to him, "We're not going to win this one, let's just wrap it up." And there the protesters continue right now here inside of the Avalon in Hollywood.
Certainly a very animated crowd. We can see a lot of people with their own cell phones out recording what's happening here. We want to bring Conan Nolan and Dr. Guerra back in right now to walk us through a little bit more of this. I mean, it's certainly not under control at the moment.
No, and what you're seeing, Fernando, I think is a problem within the Democratic Party right there. This isn't a protest of a Republican. This is a protest of we can assume, frankly, is the next senator from California, a Democrat, and a liberal Democrat who had the support of very liberal groups, including some, some on the stage there. Right. And it gives you an idea. This is sort of a microcosm as to what the Democrats are going to have to deal with in the fall.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like you mentioned, liberal icons on the stage, including Maria Elena Durazo, Lindsay Horvath, etc. And they're pretty liberal. But in the Democratic Party, you even have more progressive than that. Now, one of the interesting things to put it into context is Adam Schiff had a tremendous night. I think he got a higher percentage than I expected him to. Number one. Number two, one of the ways to gauge this is we've talked a lot about the protest vote against Biden, let's say in Michigan and in Minnesota. Let's just call that the non-Biden vote. And then take a look at Trump, the non-Trump vote. The non-Trump vote in many of these primaries, much, much higher than the non-Biden vote. 3 or 4 times sometimes. And so while we say, look, this is symbolic and problematic for the Democrats, the Republicans and Donald Trump has a more difficult problem that I would say is even 3 times the problem that what you're seeing right here.
It's true. The biggest problem, though, that Democrats have vis-a-vis what we're seeing in this hall is not that these voters that are protesting against Adam Schiff or trying to shout him down on behalf of the Palestinian cause, not that they're going to vote Republican,
right?
But they might not vote.
Right.
And in some battleground states, it won't take much for that to turn the election.